All right, then I'm going to go to Facebook. Let's see, live stream. All right. All right, you guys. Uh, I got my brother on the line. I'm sorry, I got messages coming through. I got my brother, Sub-Zero. Let's get it. I gotta give him permission to share on his page, so y'all just bear with me, but let people know we are on Sessions with Alita with Sub-Zero is on. So let me go to my page real quick so I could change the settings. Let's see. Here we go. Edit the post. Sorry. Okay, I want to disregard those changes. Okay, we're on here. I need to go edit audience. I think I'm a little tired. Let's see. All right, family. So you can actually go to my page now and you should see the share button and you will be able to share on your page. Let me know if you see it or not. You guys, let everyone know we are on, we are on, we are on.
So am I going to your photos?
No, do you see the live video? Do you see us?
I see live, but I don't see where I can click onto.
Share. You see at the bottom, it should say share. Let me go back to. Just bear with us, y'all. Just bear with us. Let's see. Okay, let me go back to my Facebook. And I'm gonna hit share and I'm gonna type Prince. Oh, so okay, so go to your page now, see if you see it.
My page or yours?
Your page.
Okay. Nope.
It's not on your, it's not showing up. It's
nope.
I see it says 2 shares right here. Who else shared? Oh, Raymond did. Raymond, man, I love him. I love him. Raymond Cardenas.
Yes.
Yeah, he shared it. So there's.
Okay, here your see, I got to go to notification.
You got to go notifications.
Yeah, it says add to profile. You want me to?
Okay. It says you likes the video shared. Okay.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me go in.
1 second.
You might have to do it again.
Okay, so you could go to my page. Go to the video on my page, and at the bottom where it says like, comment, and it says share, and you just hit the share button.
Okay, 1 second.
Hey, Jessica. We're getting it worked out.
Okay, I got you. Okay, share the what?
Just hit share. Yeah, just hit share, then it's automatically going to go to your page.
Okay, share.
Boom, we got it.
Okay, we good now? Because it was just talking with.
Okay. Let me go to your page and just make sure.
Okay.
Yep, we are on your page. You shared
it. We're good now.
Yes, we're good.
So I don't have to stress. I don't have to stress on this computer stuff no more.
No, 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 no.
Okay, okay.
Family, I
I'm,
got you. I
I'm
got you.
hey,
I got
I'm
you.
I'm old school. I'm old school. I'm hands on.
All right, y'all. You guys, it is Thursday. Y'all know, look, I bring the best of the best on Thursdays. And I just want to say something about this dude right here. I'm going to let y'all know who he is, but um, we've been friends for so long. I don't remember even how we met, but we'll get into that and stuff. But he is one of my biggest supporters. Every time I've done an interview, every time everything on Facebook, he has shared, he has liked, he has supported and stuff, so, it just, he just always shows me love. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you,
You
thank you, thank you
you're welcome.
Yeah,
You're
so
welcome.
I had
You've
to
been
get
there
that
for
out of
me
the way.
too. Well,
Huh?
you've been there for me through all these years of hip hop.
Yes, yes, and we're gonna talk about that because that's gonna be some memories of the lane, man,
Yeah,
man, man. So I have on Facebook is, make sure I'm saying it right, Prince Julian, right?
correct. That was when I was in the Beat Boys. Yes,
Okay, Prince Julian, AK Sub Zero.
in the
Right.
house, in the house.
Okay, he's been a promoter, hip hop artist, DJ. I don't think there's nothing in the music industry this man has not done. So let's get down to business. You ready, brother?
I'm down.
All right. So I like to kind of start, kind of like, neat. And I got this for Nico, our brother Nico, right? I
Yeah, I
do,
love him.
I do a little bit different. Tell us what was Julian Sub Zero from kindergarten to sixth grade? What, who was you?
Well, preschool, kindergarten, and first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, I was a sports guy
A
doing
sports guy?
sports.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was a sports guy.
Oh
yeah,
my,
I was. Yeah, I
what you
was into the
play?
sport. I did soccer, messed around with the swim team. I didn't like it too much, but I messed around with that a little bit. Played a little baseball a little bit. Didn't really like that. I liked it, but when I got hit by the ball, I didn't. Someone hit the baseball and it hit me in my leg. I didn't like that no more. So soccer I liked. Yeah, I played 7 years of soccer. I was my seventh. I'll say the seventh year of it. Of the soccer I played, I was on the all-stat team. It's the best of all the soccer players in Sacramento in recreation, and we used to play against Mexico and just all these different country type places.
Wait a minute, what age was that?
I want to say 10, 11.
Okay, yeah, high school.
Maybe.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
No, no, no. That well, not 10, 11. Let me retract that. The 7, 8, 9 then. Because
Okay, junior
I,
high.
wa- I was in sixth grade when I was 10 years old in the sixth grade.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
So
glad you remember because I can't remember how old.
yeah, these dates when I get these interviews and they start mentioning dates and stuff, that stuff's kind of hard to remember on all the pinpoint dates. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but I was in sixth grade when I was 10. I know that for a factor. So it had to be 9, 8, 7 area as far
Uh-huh.
as that. Yeah, the
Okay.
soccer that team, yes.
Okay. So then in high school.
In football, hold on.
Okay.
Recreation, Pop Warner, football, North Highlands Chargers all day. I don't know if you heard of that. And
Yeah.
I always got to say this because the Grant Pacers, they're using, well, they have our uniforms that we had as the North Highlands Chargers
Oh,
with
really?
the horse on the side,
Uh-huh.
yellow and black. Yeah, that's our uniform. That was not their uniforms. It
Oh,
is
okay.
now. It
It
is
is
now
now.
later, yeah. But that was our Charger uniforms.
Wow. So
Yeah.
what is are they still North Highland Chargers, right? Going on?
No, they
No,
I
no
don't
more?
know the name. Yeah, no, they started changing names and stuff later after we, went into the high school and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The I don't know what they're called. I don't even know what they started being called.
Oh,
Yeah, because
wow.
I got tied into the music after that.
Okay. Then in high school, what, you know.
Um, high school I was into the music. I
Okay.
had coaches wanting me to play ball and stuff because they liked the way I was getting down in sports.
Hmm.
But music captured me more. You
And how
know,
did that happen? Like, who was the first artist like you heard and you was like, man, this is what I want to do?
no, to keep it real, it was Kumo D. And he was in a group called the Treacherous Three. And my brother had the cassette, and he used to leave, go out of his room and stuff, like go out with his friends. And I would sneak in the room, grab the cassette, put it in his tape, the tape player, press play and stuff. Yeah, I didn't know what that stuff kind of was at that time. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So the Treacherous Three, I'll say Kumo D was my first one I took ear to.
Now I do have to ask you this: did you ever mess up his tape? Because you know the cassette tapes they used to
Yeah,
come
nah,
loose.
no, no, I didn't want to get put in a headlock.
Oh my
Yeah,
God! So you did it very, very carefully
yeah,
then.
I was, yeah. And as I was listening to his music and stuff, I was in. He used to go grocery shopping, and he had like a little grocery bag off to the side, and I would be eating his snacks too.
Oh
I was,
my
yeah,
goodness!
yeah. So,
Wow, wow, wow.
so if he would have caught me messing with the tape, and he knew that the snacks were touched, and we were, me and my other brothers would say we didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I didn't get caught and stuff, but later he did catch on to the concept.
Wow. So you
Yeah,
heard Kumo D.
Treacherous
So
Three. Yes.
and from Churches Three and stuff. So how? So you just started like? Did you kind of like just rapping? Along with them, and then how
Yeah,
did Sub Zero come?
well, I would sing along with it, and then not just them. Um, what's that other group called? I can't
Sugar
even
Hill
remember
Gang?
them. No, the group Sugar Hill Gang.
Yeah,
Is that what you just said?
yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, 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 the Sugar Hill Gang. I would the rappers. It was Rappers Delight. Is that what it was called?
Yeah,
What was that
Rappers
song?
Delight. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I would sing along with that. Just different stuff I would sing along with and stuff, but I was not trying to be a rapper and stuff. Yeah, because I was more into the popping and locking and stuff. And I saw that early in elementary. We would like get on our bikes and go ride up to the junior high. They used to have, yeah, North Highlands had I pretty much the best poppers and breakers were coming out of North Highlands, just to be real
Wow,
with it. Yes.
wow. With the cardboard and everything?
Yeah, cardboard, everything. Sometimes just straight jump on concrete. Just
Wow.
depending on the mood. Yeah, just jump on concrete and just go at it.
So man, I didn't so you left that out. So you would say you played ball and everything. So you was also into dance to the, break dancing.
Yeah, well, breaking came later, but we were popping and locking. That's what California was doing first, and then
Hmm.
East Coast brought that movie Flashdance out and had
Uh-huh.
Crazy Legs from the Rocksteady crew.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you remember that scene with
yeah,
the umbrella and all
yeah.
that? Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. That's when breaking first like came exposed to us on the West Coast.
Then they came out with the movies, breaking one,
Break,
breaking two. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and well, and then after that, Ice T and all them had that breaking and entering thing when cable first came into the Sacramento County. When
Mhm.
cable first broke in.
You know what? I was living in Seaside. I came
Oh,
here in
okay, okay,
1985. That's not,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So when they first introduced cable to us, Ice T and Bugaloo Shrimp,
Yeah.
uh, uh, Ozone, Poppin' Taco, all those guys
Hmm.
they put a video together called Breaking and Entering, and well, a movie, or
Uh-huh.
documentary, whatever you want to call it, showing how we get down, in California to the East Coast, showing the East Coast, hey, we can
Yeah.
do that too. But everything started on the East Coast, all of it.
Yeah.
No matter what anyone tries to say, we looked up to them, and then they all started moving from the East Coast to the West Coast and showing us what time it was. And
Right.
then we learned it, yeah, and we learned it and just took it to the whole nother level. That's all.
Wow, wow, wow. So you got into that when, how old were you when you decided like like, okay, this I'm gonna go ahead and get into this music scene. I'm gonna go ahead and get into the studio, do whatever you do. Did you go to a studio first or did you do it like at somebody's house.
Well, how that became, you know, my boy, he was starting a crew called the Grandmasters of the Turntables, and he's the one that taught me how to mix and scratch and make beats and keyboard playing. And his name's MC Romeo. Yeah,
MC
and
Romeo. Yeah.
yeah, he goes by H Wood now.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, he back then he was MC Romeo. Little, he was the youngest. Well, he's older than me, but far as for the people he was looking up to, he was young and he was gifted with talent. He was doing what they were doing, the big cats, you know what I'm saying? So he was scratching and doing all that stuff. And he introduced the Egyptian Lover to me. I don't know if you know Egyptian Lover. Yeah, the song Egypt, Egypt.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
that was one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, so the Egyptian Lover. So he introduced the Egyptian Lover music to me, and there's a bunch of people he kind of introduced to me for because he was part of a record pool. You know what those are, right? Record pools. Yeah,
Mixela. Remember Mixela? He used to have those record
yeah,
pools.
yeah, I was part of that with him.
Yeah.
So the MC Romeo, he was like, I'm just saying he was young like a youngster and stuff because everyone else was older. You know what I mean? That was like really throwing down in the hip hop scene. But we didn't have a label of hip hop at the time. It was just, we were just doing music and popping and locking and graffitiing on the walls, and the police would come get us and say, "Hey, you guys better stop or you're going to jail," kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, we were doing all kinds of crazy stuff with the hip hop and stuff
Oh my goodness. So
with
you
that culture. But
wow. But you know what? Those honestly was really, the good days.
yeah, oh, it was fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
because we used to run and stuff. Like when the cops came, we tried to try to hide our cans and run and stuff. But they put the lights on us and roll up on us and still get us, and
My
tell
God.
us, yeah, we are kids too, and they would threaten us, taking us to jail, juvenile hall, all that
Uh,
type of stuff.
did they
Yeah,
ever
but
take you home to your parents?
yeah, we got caught up when we were out past curfew, the street
Mhm.
lights and
Uh-huh.
past, and now I was spraying. We used to spray the schools up like on the side
Wow.
of the walls of the schools, and then back of Kmart. Sorry, Kmart. Oh,
Okay.
they're closed down. Kmart's closed down now,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
okay.
No more K-words.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, we would spray all up. We Albertson. We were spraying all that stuff up, and we're
Mm.
tagging it.
Uh-huh.
Putting murals. Yeah, we were putting good murals though.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it
And
wasn't
you
junk.
and it's just kind of like with the graffiti and the music back then, everything was just done so, you know, I want to say elegant, but it was done so much better, with class
Yeah,
and stuff. So much
everything was better.
skill, so much
Yeah,
more skills.
yeah,
Yeah.
the old school is always going to be the best school. I'm just got to keep it real like that. But as far as to answer your question, still, so MC Romeo's the one, he's the one that started teaching me how to rap and stuff. And I want to say we were the Grandmaster of Turntables first, so just mixing and scratching and making beats, and we were getting all that equipment, going to K&K Music. We were going to Skip's Music, and there's the one in the Bay Area. I can't remember the name right now, but we would always go to the Bay, buy stuff at that store. It's very popular. I can't remember the name of it though, and buy equipment from there. So we were basically the only ones in North Highlands with the equipment, due
Mm.
to my boy MC Romeo. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So he taught me how to rap. He was like, "Man, I want you to rap," because I was dancing and stuff with the crew.
Uh-huh.
Grandmaster Turntables. Then we became the Beat Boys.
Okay.
And I was dancing with the crew. He was like, "Man, I want you to rap." And I was like, "What? I can, what I mean?" I was like, "I can't rap, bro." And he said, I'll write your lyrics for you first." And I said, all right, And then he wrote it and he drilled me. I don't know if you ever heard about Dr. Dre, how he makes you make that. You'll say the one word like it 20 times to 100 times
Oh
until
wow.
you got that word. It had to sound like it. You know what I mean? That's how he was as a coach.
Wow.
So each word, you can barely get past. I was like, man, I'm not even past it. I'm not even past my sentence yet. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? Yeah, because I had to make every word had to be, you know, to perfection.
You know what? And that's what crafted you know what I mean, and stuff.
Yeah.
That was a good, that was, I don't want to say coach because I think of coach, but that was a, yeah, I said, yeah, coach,
Yeah,
to get you
I
done
called it the coach.
right
Yeah.
and stuff. Wow. So,
And
okay,
if we messed up,
what do you do?
boxing gloves. He had boxing gloves.
Wait a
He'd take
minute.
he had boxing gloves.
Okay, so you messed up. So you had to put the boxing gloves and box what here?
Yeah, he would throw the boxing gloves to you, and you got to box them and stuff because
Oh my goodness.
that's how serious practice was. We were at practice all the time. We practiced all the time.
And you know what? That's probably what's missing nowadays.
They don't do that no more.
They
Some
should.
some people probably do it for their shows, maybe. That's a maybe. But back then, hey, it was just like doing sports.
Hmm.
Practicing all the time, your routine, yeah.
Yeah.
No going to the movies, none of that stuff.
Wow. Wow.
But eventually, we had time. Sometimes we can go movies and stuff, but it was all about perfection because we got discovered by the Two Live Crew, and
Wait a minute.
and under them, what I'm saying, you had to be on hit.
Okay, so we're gonna back up then. All right. So you went through, he perfected you, and so taught you how, rap, wrote your, raps and stuff.
Yeah,
What was the next what was the next step that you that got you to like being discovered? Like, did you guys do shows around town? Talk about your, experience to getting discovered by, the Two Live Crew.
yeah. Well, we got discovered by Two Live Crew because his sister, she was a Los Angeles Raider cheerleader,
Okay.
and she liked it what we were our craft that we were doing and stuff. So she got the demo tape to Dave Hobbs, Mr. Mix. He's like the leader of the whole crew. He's the one that does all the scratching, mixing, beat making, all that stuff. He was the decision maker for the crew. So he got a hold of it and stuff. And this is in the beginning of Macola Records just getting off the ground and stuff.
Mm.
And we were part of that first release bunch that came out. Two Live Crew, the Beat Boys, Egyptian Lover, LA Dream Team, the
Wow.
Wrecking Crew, because NWA came later. Ice Cube was in a group called CIA. Um, I think I mentioned Ice T already. There, I can't remember everybody, but there's a lot of them, and I post the stuff on my timeline a lot. Of
Yeah.
all the
Oh yeah,
artists.
you really, really do. If you guys want to see some history of hip hop and stuff, you guys man subscribe to him. Follow him.
Thank you.
Prince Julian.
Yeah, because I want people to know, it's not about the West, not that, not about just the East Coast, the West Coast. We did it too. We have flavor too, and they try to keep us like hidden kind of thing, in the dark and stuff. And we brought flavor to the whole hip hop culture too. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
And
we
and
do.
plus we worked the records for the East Coast to get known over here in West Coast and stuff. You know what I mean? So I didn't like the fact of them trying to keep us in the dark and not let us get our exposure and stuff, because not too many people know about McCullough Records. McCullough Records
Yeah.
started it all off. They're the first ones to start off hip hop. Period.
Wow.
I hear all these people talk all this stuff, but show your proof. Show your proof that you guys started it off. You show your proof of your record label. Show me your record dates. Show me all this stuff. Stop talking. You know what I'm saying? And stop telling all these people all these lies and stuff. Because that's all I hear a lot. I hear all these people lying when I lived it. You know what I'm saying? I lived the life.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm Hollywood known. I work with the big boys in Hollywood. They all know about the Beat Boys.
Now, where was that record label based out of?
It was on Santa Monica Boulevard in
So it was
Hollywood.
in Hollywood.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
And I want to say someone from Warner Brothers was backing him. The guy came, I can't remember his name off the head, but it's on my timeline. He came from the East Coast and he brought rap to the West Coast, and no one on the West Coast was even feeling rap. So that's another thing people lie about, trying to act like, oh yeah, I love rap and I've been with rap for all these years, and yeah, I used to rap with my crew. And stop lying. You're lying. Get out of here with that stuff, man.
Right,
I
right.
lived it. I lived it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And my name's in the house of all these companies out there. They know me. Yeah. And I post my credits.
Yeah, you really, and you do,
I
and
got
you do.
more. I got tons more. And
Yeah,
I got a website coming out. It's going to have all kinds of stuff. And I'm even bringing personal life stuff of artists that are out there lying in their interviews. I'm going to bring personal life stuff showing who their real character was and who they really were. And I ain't worried about it. I'm bringing it out because I'm tired of all the lies. And
right.
I understand people like to lie so they can get hits and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Get not hits, likes, get likes and whatever they're trying to do. Because it's all about making money. Well, I'm in the hip hop for the love of it because I lived it. Okay. Money
Yeah,
wasn't even a part of this when we started this stuff. It was just showing people our talent and stuff.
yeah,
Okay. And then a lot of people that I know got involved once the money started coming in. So money started blowing up and stuff, and they couldn't find a career in college or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't find a career, so they're like, oh, I'm gonna be a rapper, or I'm gonna be a DJ now. Just jumping in the game, and I'm looking at them like, what? And I got a lot of these people in my beta camera and my VHS camera in the crowd watching the Beat Boys and watching the Tech Night Crew and watching Ill Fated and Tech. I already said Tech Night Crew. Ill Fated and who else they used to watch? Bumpin' T. Um, um, there's quite a few of that too. Local Sacramento guys that were around us that we used to have as opening group,
mm,
opening acts before we came out, like the headliner type thing. Yeah,
mm,
we did all that, teenager years and stuff. You know what I'm saying? We'll go get a hall, rent a hall as little kids, okay? And we had like the snack bar with soda and chips and stuff. We had water. We had all this type of stuff
yeah,
in there as little teenager businessmen, okay? And we would get the local talent that wasn't signed on records yet. They didn't have record deals yet. But everyone started getting now, I ain't gonna say they had record deals because there's pressing plants. Anyone can walk into the pressing plant and pay that fee and get your cassette and your vinyl. Okay, but you don't have the distribution behind it. You understand?
that was
Yeah,
the key.
So we had Tower Records behind us, and we had McCullough Records behind us, and whoever else was branching off of them to help get our stuff out there because we went worldwide. We're on magazine covers. We're on charts, the music charts. We're on all that stuff. And I work the business, so when these people are doing all this talking, I know the truth.
Hmm.
Because I was from the circle. You know what I'm saying? And I worked with the box. I don't know if you remember the box. I was
Yes,
the
of course.
promoter for the
Yes,
box.
yes.
Yeah, you
He
used to
got so
punch
much more
in.
money.
Yeah, yeah. He used to punch in the thing on the TV and
Mm,
watch videos and stuff. Yeah, I was a part of that. People don't know that. I was with a show called Home Turf, Channel 4 out of the Bay Area.
mm.
Yes, I was part of that. Yeah, when we did Two Shorts interview, and not just him, we did all kinds of people. We me I'm just going to put it this way. My crew, and I got some of them still with me, and then some are new coming around me, and I'm trying to coach and teach them to be positive businessmen and stop, don't become a snake and don't become a shark, because there's a lot of that out there. And sharks, they come up to you smiling,
Mhm.
like a shark, a real shark. It
Yeah.
smiles before it bites you up.
Mhm.
Yeah. And a snake too. A snake got a little smile on it too and comes up to you before it bites you too. Yeah. So you got to be careful of all these people getting in the business. Some are getting in the business for the wrong reasons. You know what I'm saying? And they want to come and get around you, and they feed you all this stuff in your ear, what they can do for you, and just all this hype and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I post stuff on my timeline towards all the people in general. Okay, it's in
Mhm.
general people I've been around, not knowing I've been already with the big boys who made Michael Jackson, who made the Jackson Five. You know what I'm saying? Who made Prince. I've been a part of those people as a little kid growing into that, learning the business on how to handle artists and stuff. And that's why I even did the project I did, bringing all the uh, different neighborhoods together in 1993. I brought all the neighborhoods together. Now you see everyone doing it, and then
Is
they try to act
is
like,
that who
and
put Sac on the map?
that was teammates of mine, but mine was SMD, Sacramento's most.
SMD.
Yeah,
Huh?
that was before Sac on the Map. They
Okay,
took
what does
my concept,
SMD stand for?
Sacramento's Most Dangerous.
That's right. Okay. Yeah.
So who put Sac on the Map was a copycat of my Sacramento's Most Dangerous. Anyone who came after Sacramento's Most Dangerous, bringing other rappers from other neighborhoods onto their albums, copied SMD.
Mm,
Yeah, and
okay.
it's a fact. It's a fact. No one was doing that. I started that whole concept. Now, where I got the concept from was from my boy from Frisco, Herm Lewis. You know Herm?
I remember that name.
Okay, yeah, I saw him doing that concept in the Bay, and then I was like, hey, that would be cool for me to do that, because he was bringing in the Bay, because the Bay used to be segregated too, where everyone was doing their neighborhoods. You know what I mean? They wasn't bringing everybody together. Herm brought people together.
Wow.
JT the bigger figure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he brought people together, and
Uh-huh.
and from what I'm told, he started that whole concept, the compilation concept. They
Mm,
said JT the bigger figure was first, then Herm saw him doing it, and then Herm did it, and then I saw Herm do it.
mm.
But I also saw Banging on Wax. I'm part of that whole crew too.
Wow.
The Banging on Wax in LA. Yes,
Mhm.
my agent and my promoters of my project SMD are the ones who made them. They did their videos. They did my video, Lady Mercedes. Yeah, I'm part of that whole crew of Banging on Wax and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. So
but yeah,
how did you get the like, from when got started and stuff? Like, did you kind of learn on your own? Like, okay, we need to get this, now I'm doing this. We need distribution. We need to do this. Who taught you the business wise, like on how to,
the
at
Two Life
first
Crew. The
to
Two
like
Life
prove
Crew.
it?
Two Life Crew taught my boy MC Romeo. MC Romeo schooled us.
Okay.
When I say us, there's more. There was in the Beat Boys. There was a bunch of us, but me and Instant Romeo was the main two, and then our DJ Chan. He was part of the like the three amigos, I guess you can say. Yeah,
Mhm.
because every time he saw us on stage and stuff, he was behind us, doing the DJ and beats and stuff while we, live.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did our stuff live. Back in the new generation, they record it on a CD,
Mhm.
their stuff on the CD.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
I did it too. I do it too, and I did it too. Like record the instrumental and then say, "Hey, play my instrumental," and then they rap like that. Or they will just rap over their song. Period. So because sometimes they're like super high and drunk, they don't know their words, so they just sing along with their music. The song, or they'll just sing along with their song. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
the microphones usually are a little higher, so you kind of hear them. But if they mess up, you hear the record going, the music going still, with the lyrics
Mm,
still going, and you look at their mouth ain't moving. You know
mm,
what I mean? Because they messed up, and then they'll catch back on. And then you got some of the artists, they don't even care. They'll go start performing, mess up, look at you and laugh or whatever, and then come back rap and whatever. It's all different now. But back then, and I want to say in the 80s, we did everything live. The beats were made live they were playing the live beats like Egyptian Lover. Just watch an Egyptian Lover show. Yeah, he
yeah.
does live beats and
Yeah.
scratching live. Everything's live. Like my boy Mixmaster Mike, he just live behind the Beastie Boys, or he's doing it behind Cypress Hill or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you remember the first time when you hit the stage, the reaction of the crowd and how you felt?
Yeah, I was nervous, butterflies, nervous. But my boy MC Romeo, I don't know if he ever was nervous or anything. He was good in sports too. He did all kinds of sports and stuff. We always try to get in the Sacramento Bee or the Sacramento Union, what I'm saying? Get your name in the paper. That's what everyone in sports in my generation did. If you didn't get in the paper or mentioned in any type of news media, you wasn't good, even though you still was good.
Yeah.
So he would encourage us, like, hey, like pump us up before we hit the stage, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
yes, so yeah, I would get butterflies, and I don't know more now. I just go out there crazy and stuff because Lowrider magazine, they started putting me as an opening act type of thing on their shows, some of their shows.
Mhm.
Yeah, back in the early '90s and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I would get butterflies. You know what I'm saying? Kind of sick a little bit. Didn't want to go out and perform, kind of thing. You know, like second thought, like
Uh-huh.
I don't want to go out there, kind of thing. Yeah, I've been through that.
Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. Every time like I see you and stuff, you're kind of, well, not with me, but you're really reserved. You're just, you're cool and reserved, kind of. Were you kind of shy? That's why I kind of get from you too. Or you just being cautious on who you connect with.
Um, yeah, being cautious. I'm a person who analyzes and studies people, kind of thing. I'm a cancer.
You do. You really do.
I'm a cancer. You
uh,
know, if you study cancers, you'll know how we get down.
okay, my mom was a Cancer. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So we care too, and all the artists that have been in my presence, they'll tell you that yeah, that sub he takes care of us and stuff. You know what I mean? But then the ones that are trying to take advantage of me and then trying to use my kindness as a weakness type, because I get a lot of those people around me a lot too. And then I kind of back up. You know what I mean? I kind of back away like a cobra. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. And like the saying that says, "Wise as a serpent, but humble as a dove."
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. I'm
yeah,
sorry. I don't
yeah.
know why my landscaper is here this late at night. So I apologize.
Oh,
So
I'm not worried about that.
okay, good. But yeah, because the noise is just irritating me.
I
But
don't hear it.
okay, good, good, good. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump to like, kind of like when I came in, when I, had, Sacramento Funk and everything. And I
Yeah.
believe you reached out to me. Was it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you reached out to me and you
Yeah.
was telling me about the record stores and stuff. And I
Yeah.
just appreciate you because you let me interview, some people at the record stores. I remember
Yeah.
interviewing Richie Rich at the one on Premier Music on Northgate, you
Yeah,
know.
we ran the game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
we ran the game.
yeah, you always open up and everything. So what made you guys open up the record stores, especially like in two locations? And what I was looking at Nico's interview with you, you was part of Top Notch too?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know that. The one off of Foreign, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
With
The
Sean, with,
crisis. Yeah,
yeah,
we
with
brought crisis
Crisis.
out. Yes.
You guys owned it, or
My boy owned the store.
Sean,
And
right?
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
John. Yes. And back
Yeah,
then, at that time,
I remember.
yeah, but back then at that time, I was living on 21st Street,
Oh, you're right around the
in
corner.
the Garden Block. Yeah, I was living on 21st Street, Garden Block.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we were running that store, Top Notch. Yeah, and we brought who do I can't remember. We brought a lot of artists there.
Yeah, so I interviewed, I think when I was coming back the second time, brought in when I,
Aunt Banks, remember Aunt Banks?
yeah, oh yeah, but I interviewed Banks in the Bay, but I interviewed
Okay.
Casual. You guys have brought the rapper
Yeah.
Casual.
And my boy Root Dog, he was
Yeah.
always there. We're showing love to my boy Root Dog.
In
You
fact,
know.
JDK is on the live right now, and I want, I'm getting
Yeah,
him
yeah,
a Root Dog.
JDK, that's my boy. That's my boy right there.
Yes, yes. Shout out to Stack Report, JDK.
Yes, shout out.
He's I gonna have him a root dog on in a couple of weeks and
Yeah,
stuff.
that'll be tight. That'll be
Oh yeah,
tight. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We need to get
The underboss. Yeah, the underboss.
yeah, the underboss. Yeah,
Yeah.
we got to get a shout out. I love him. He's very now. How I said about you being kind of calm and kind of cautious. JDK is very vocal and he'll tell you exactly how he feels. That's why I love him. That's why I love him.
Yeah.
But
Yes, I had him VIP at I brought Bob Marley's grandson here,
mm,
and Daniel Marley.
uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, I brought him here. And That's Ziggy Marley's firstborn
Oh wow.
firstborn child. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I had JD, he came there and sponsored the whole concept. So love and shout out to him.
Yeah. And just like you know, with Root Dog, and JDK, we just go way back and everything. That's why, when I started doing this, I really wanted people to know like the history,
Yeah,
I'm into interviewing, the new artists too, but I want people to know like the history of like, of what we did,
yeah, yeah,
before the internet,
yeah,
before, so we didn't have no social media, we didn't have none of this. Just like you said, distribution, right?
yes,
You had to get
yeah,
a, remember Shadow had the van, and
yeah,
Flyer, Miko had, everywhere you went, Miko was on the poles, and
yes, yeah,
we work. You guys, well, yeah, you guys worked and stuff. I worked carrying that camera, the
yes, yes.
lights,
And Jackie, yeah, with Jackie, you remember?
Sacktown. Yeah, with I was an intern for Sacktown
Okay.
Raps.
Yeah, she showed major love to your boy Sub.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Which I remember when she said, "Okay, you go ahead and take the show over." I go, "What?" you know,
Yes,
she goes,
yes,
"I'm done."
yes,
But
yeah.
yeah, so you have you know, the record stores and everything. What made you guys open up, like decide, say, hey, we, done the music and said, let's go ahead and do a record store. How did that come about?
My I can't remember my boy's name right now because it's a long time ago, but he's the first one who opened up the record store. Okay,
Was
the
it
mom
Eli?
pop. No, no, Eli. He's related to Eli.
Okay.
He came with the concept first,
Okay.
and then my boy Junior opened up in Elk Grove Music.
Mm.
Remember that one?
No, I don't
Elk
remember
Grove.
the Elko
Yeah,
music.
you know where Dimples is? Out where Dimples used
Yeah.
to be in
Uh-huh.
Elk Grove.
Yeah.
Well, it was down the street from there before Dimples. The Dimples
Mm.
came.
Okay.
So it was Elk Grove Music, and then Premieres started popping up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it started with my boy. I can't remember his name right now, but he's related to Eli,
Mhm.
but Eli gets the credit because he lasted longer than all of
Mm.
them. Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, and Eli would say, "Hey, Sub, I'm about to go somewhere. I need you to come run my store." Boom, I'm there. Bam. And I'll be bringing JT the bigger figure, get low record, get low players, steady mobbing. Uh, man, I can't remember everyone's. There's so
It's
many.
crazy. We got so much
The Who
longevity.
Riders. Yeah, we had the Who Riders. We had the Comrades. We were bringing everybody,
Yeah.
and a lot of people forgot about that. They forgot about Sub Zero was putting your music in our record store and helping you get your stuff out there when you had no distribution. And then I was hooking people up to distribution. Yeah,
Mm.
I had Bayside, that was Tower Records distribution. I had Valley Music. Yeah, I had the music people from the Bay. Yeah, all those places were connected to me, and I would get the people's stuff all up in there and get it out there. And then, like I always say, they forgot about your boy. You know what I'm saying?
I
I
know how
heard,
that feel.
I heard all the stuff in my ears. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, when the money comes in, I'm gonna take care of you. Just I heard all kinds of stuff in my ears, and they forgot about their once we got them, boom. We got them out there, boom. They didn't know your boy no more. You know what I'm saying? They know me, but you know what I'm saying? They
I
didn't come
exactly.
back and take care of your boy and stuff.
I know exactly. I know exactly how you feel, even to this day. You know what I mean? A lot of
Yeah.
people that I have
And we're
put on.
behind a lot of people. We're behind a lot of the. I don't want to mention their names because some of them I'm still cool with and I'm
Yeah.
working with and stuff. But you know, we helped a lot of record labels, all over the planet. We helped launch their artists and just help them just blow up out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, video shows I was a part of. We helped them in that. We helped them in record pools, getting their stuff, getting it to all the record pool DJs and stuff. We were doing that. Time, and time, our money, all that stuff. Because these guys were saying they didn't have money. They were saying, "Oh, I'm broke," or they don't have, and once it kicks in, and we believed in them. You know what I'm saying? Me, Mixula, Ebro. You know what I'm saying? All of us, we were a team helping these people blow up out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Exactly.
I had the nightclub. You remember my nightclub, Club 916?
Wait a minute. Where was that at? Wait
That
a minute.
was it was in Rose. Roseville
Yeah.
/ Citrus Heights. Yeah, we had that.
Yeah.
We had Trejo was there. We had Ebro. Ebro launched the bomb out of my club.
Wow.
103.5, the bomb was launched out of my club because it was syndicate.
Really?
Yeah, it was syndicate recorded first.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it was like they do now, on the internet now, how they record stuff pre-record it and then
Yeah.
let it. Yeah, that's how the bomb started off.
Oh, wow.
So we had the whole. I had uh uh DJ Alvin D, DJ Craig G. Yeah,
Shout out to
all
them. Shout out to them. Yeah.
the whole club 102 DJs, everyone came to my club, and because I had 5 DJs per night per spinning. I had 5 DJs come there. I gave them a set. Tom Tom Productions, remember Tom Tom?
Yes, I
Yeah,
do.
so I had all those guys come. I brought the old school people back and the new all together. Let them do a set. I said put a mix together, come there, spin it, and then the next DJs come on because we had like four turntables set up. Yeah, so the once that person left off, the next people kicked in. Boom, we were packed. 500 jam packed in there. I had all the break dancers from Sacramento, like the newer generation ones at that time, because this was in the 90s. And I built a special stage. We like built a stage for just breakdancing and popping and all that stuff on the side.
And you know what? I think of those times to now, it's like it was even safer back then. Now, there's so much you can't, people are kind of afraid to go out because they're afraid of the violence. You know what I mean?
I,
Back
we,
then, we
we
could get together and there'd be, maybe a couple of fights break out, but no, no, the shooting, you know what I mean?
yeah, I had my little team that I had around Club 916. There was some that we had knuckleheads coming there, but I had hit them hard. Hit them hard.
Who, JB?
JB and Big O Me Z.
Yeah.
Yeah. You wasn't coming there doing no. You wasn't coming there doing nothing.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can start it, but they put the fire out quick.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I had hit them hard taking care of my stuff.
Yeah. But,
Shout outs to hit them hard.
yes, JB,
Yeah, that's still they still roll with me. You know
Oh,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? When I go handle
Yeah.
business, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I called JB on my birthday. And I was like, it was 12 o'clock. I was like, you ain't called me yet. He said, you ain't give me a chance.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. But
Yes.
so, but that's a lot of good. You guys are hearing a lot of good history, especially, about Sacramento, how everything really, really started from the beginning and everything. Now you was a DJ, did I hear?
Yeah, yes. I was DJing in the beginning before I started rapping.
Oh, before you start rapping, you was
Yeah,
DJing. Oh,
we were little kids trying to battle out there against the Royal Mixers. You heard of them?
World Mix.
Yeah,
Somebody,
yeah.
my girl Arius is asking, were you at the Owl Club?
We used to go to every club. I was at all the clubs. Club Mercedes, the Safari,
Roadhouse.
the Vortex, Second Level. We were everywhere.
Wow, 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 wow,
Yeah,
wow.
anywhere music was, your boy Sub Zero was right there because I'm music.
Period, period.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what type of music it is either. If it's good, I'm there.
So I don't know if you already answered this question, answer this, but have you already done the documentary? Is that something in your future? Like,
I haven't did that yet. I got all the material for it. I got a Hollywood crew that wants to do it for me, but I prefer a Sacramento crew to do it. But I'm just making sure it's the right people. I'm not just gonna put it in the hands of anybody.
right.
So, but I do got a Hollywood crew that wants to do it. And it's gonna look Hollywood if they do it.
Uh-huh.
But if I can find Sacramento, someone local in Sacramento to put all this, I got all this stuff I'm talking about. I got video footage of it. I got pictures of it. I got all this stuff. And
Mhm.
all the artists, I got you guys on my answer machine, calling when I didn't answer. I got your voices saying who you were, all that stuff. I got all that stuff.
Oh,
All that stuff.
wow.
Yeah.
You kept all of it?
And the interviews I was doing. I interviewed the Loonies. I interviewed Ice-T's crew, Syndicate, Rhyme Syndicate, Ice-T,
Mhm.
Rhyme Syndicate
Yeah.
Records. I did Scarface Records, Paris from Scarface Records.
Yeah.
I did all kinds of interviews because I was working with all the magazines, Source, Rap Sheet. I mean, there's a Rap Pages. I was working with all the magazines too. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I would go and get in the mix and interview people, and I did all this stuff. And
Wow.
then like Cameo, I was part of Cameo's street team. I was part of Wow 107. I was helping promote them. That's Bay Area stuff, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so we would like when they do concerts like uh the big summer jams type things. Yeah,
mhm.
they would call me, have me come there and take care of them, make sure they were fed, the artists were fed, and make sure they get on stage on time because everyone party in the backstage. A lot of people didn't know, but backstage before they hit the stage, people were basketball. They're playing basketball, rolling dice, just having a good time in the back. You know what I'm saying? But then everyone's on a time frame, so we have to make sure you get on stage according to time because everything's running on a time frame. Yeah, so I was part of all that too.
wow. Well, you now that I think about it, think about the record stores and everything. Were you guys like the first ones to do like the in-store signings and stuff? You know what I mean? Who like
I
crazy when
wouldn't
the artists came?
I wouldn't say we did a lot of that, but I wouldn't say we were the first. Tower Records was always going to be the first.
Oh yeah, that's true too. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Tower Records, and
yeah.
then Virgin Records was doing that stuff too. You remember
Oh
Virgin?
my God, I forgot about Virgin
Yeah,
Records. Yeah.
Virgin Records. Yeah. So Virgin Records, Tower Records. Who else was doing stuff? I
Okay.
can't remember. There were so many
Yeah.
record labels, but the main one I would just say Tower because Tower was doing a lot, and I was part of their promotion street team.
Yeah, on Watt Avenue. Yeah.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
Broadway, Watt, Sunrise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was just thinking about that. I said, man, were they the first? Because you've done so
I mean,
much,
underground wise, we were the first underground ones to bring underground artists out here.
maybe that was it.
Yeah,
Okay.
like all the underground, and then Dimple started copying our concept because I was the first one to bring rap music to Dimples, and a lot of people don't
Really?
even know that history. Yeah, I was working with Black Market Records,
Uh-huh.
and I
Shout out
took
to said. Go ahead.
yeah, shout out to Seth. I said same. I took uh Brother Lynch. I took G Mac. Um, who else did at the time? X Rated. uh, Triple Six. There was a lot of in the beginning. Cold World Hustlers, like in the beginning. Yeah, I was bringing all that stuff into Dimple Records. I was the first one to bring that rap music to Dimples and Underground Records, if you remember them. I
Yeah.
was the first one who was bringing that to them because they just opened up and they had nothing but white people music, and I'm not against that.
Mhm.
I love all music, but I was like, man, you're in Sacramento. We got hip hop and rappers, and that culture's here. You need to get that stuff in here too. They had like rock and jazz and all that type country and stuff. I was
Yeah.
like, you need to get it. I see. If I guarantee if you get this stuff in here, you're gonna blow up. Yeah. So I was part of getting all that stuff in there for the artists that forgot about me. Yeah.
Speaking of being forgot about, I think you was kind of like, I don't know if he was included, but I know I wasn't included. But what was it like last year or something down at the Capitol or something? They
Yeah.
did something like, something like hip hop artists in Sacramento, like the hip hop scene, and they did you do you remember, you know what I'm talking about? They did
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it
Yeah.
wasn't
I
at the
remember all that.
Capitol. It was at somewhere downtown. And I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
like,
I think I
okay.
think it was the Capitol. They brought Macola record artists there, and
No,
and
this was like what last year they was like giving like knowledge. I
yeah,
think they give some awards or something.
yeah. They did. Kid Frost was there. The Royal Mixers were there. Triple Threat 3 were there. Yeah, you're talking about the same stuff.
Is it
Yeah,
okay? Were
but
you
they didn't get the other people that were involved too. That's where they messed up at. Yeah,
okay?
because you should have been there. Hey, we're gonna make our own thing go down, and when we do it, it's gonna be the real bang. So I'm not worried. It kind of hurts me just a tad bit that
I know.
um our names aren't being mentioned when we're the foundation of helping these other people's brands get out there. But we're gonna put something together and we're gonna blow up stuff. We're gonna
Yeah.
blow stuff up. Yeah.
And I mean, even though that stuff happens, but we still have the people who do recognize us. Like one guy didn't even realize the barbershop he was going to in the Bay was the one that my son owns. So when he saw
Oh,
my
okay.
son, he was like, "Man, your mama put a lot of people on,"
Yeah,
and
yeah, we
stuff. So,
do. Yeah,
so is it's just at least the real recognize. They still give us our props, and stuff like that. And that's why when people wanted me to bring back the show,
yes.
number one, I don't want to be going around carrying a camera and doing all that stuff. But now it's a whole different thing. You got to keep up with the times and stuff. Now you got the podcasts and stuff. And now, to me, this is so much easier sending out a Zoom link and going live on Facebook, and then I upload it on YouTube.
Yeah, there you
Not
go.
nobody's really doing that. A lot of people are doing, the podcast and stuff, but this is where everybody can really see and get to know people and everything. And
Yeah.
like I was telling, JDK, I'm reaching out to the ones, from that was with me in the beginning and that are still with me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yes.
Because even though she's my son, he's 30 years old. He's gonna be 30 this year. So that means I've known you over
Okay.
years,
That's
right?
right. That's right. You
Yeah.
remember you do you remember B-Boy K?
Uh,
Because he's behind a lot of artists too.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he brought in a lot of the old the rappers and stuff like Soul Clap, E Train, the
Oh,
Cuff. I
mhm.
mean, yeah, he kind of got a name. He's managing Timex Social Club right now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, yeah, Kevin Malone. Kevin Malone.
Oh,
That's his
Kevin. Kevin.
yeah. Yeah, and his son, his not his son, his nephew is the one that does. I can't remember his nephew's name right now, but he does a lot of the Sacramento videos and Bay Area videos. He's like real good on the.
Jason?
Um, no, it's his nephew. It B-Boy K's nephew. You
Oh,
probably know his name. I can't think
I'm
of it right
thinking of
now. But
Jason. Jason does a lot of I think Jason
say
does
it again. Say the name.
Jason. He does
Yeah,
all.
that's him.
Okay, yeah, that's
And at the
really?
time, yeah, and at the time, me and B-Boy K were messing around. He was a little tiny kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him. I used to see him run around as a little tiny kid, before he got older and started doing what he does right now. Yeah,
Mhm.
and he did that video for J King Club Nouveau. You know that one of his songs. He did a video to that.
Wow. Yeah, I
Yeah,
seen Jason go from to big time, from when he
yeah,
first
yeah,
started to
yeah.
yeah, and
Yep,
he
yep.
still, and you know what? And he does a lot of 40s videos and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
40s very humble. And Jason he's the same way. I never seen him like, upset or rude. He just always got the smile on, you know what I mean? And stuff. And that's, you know, I love knowing people like that and seeing them how they come and everything and stuff.
Yeah.
So before we get up out of here, I know we talked about so much and you gave so much game and knowledge, history, especially, yourself and what, of Sacramento and stuff. What do you have in the future? I know you said a little, but you know,
Well, I hooked up with Drummer Boy. You know the Drum Squad. They're from Memphis. You
okay.
heard of him? Yeah,
No,
the Drum Squad. Yeah, his name is DJ Drummer Boy. He's like a DJ, like DJ Mustard's kind of popular producer type guy.
huh?
Yeah, he did Chris Brown, Snoop Dogg, um, uh, Keisha Cole. Um, who else did he do? 3 6 Mafia.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, he's big.
Uh-huh.
He's from the South, dirty South. Yeah. So me and him hooked up, and I got projects getting ready released through him, not through him, but with him. That he gave me material, and then I got linked up to other people getting material. You know what I'm saying? So me and him's about to do some stuff.
Okay, okay. Is there anything else you want to mention that you might think people should and ought to know? I know you got so much. That's why I can't wait for the documentary, honestly.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Lee too, because Mr. Lee's behind a lot of my projects getting ready to come out from the Dirty South. Mr. Lee's kind of like a best friend drummer boy. So
Okay.
I can't forget of him too. And yeah, oh yeah, we released a movie last year.
Hmm.
Yeah, so our first movie, it's on all the network. This it's called Skagit. Yeah, Skagit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's out of Seattle. My boy from out of Seattle, and he took my SMD music and put it inside the music.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean not inside the music, but inside the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm always thinking music, but
Yeah.
yeah, inside the movie. And shout out to Giitis, you know what I'm saying? Because
Yes.
Giitis is on the song that's in that movie
Is
too.
he?
Yes, yes.
Man.
Yeah, he's on there rapping on the. Yeah, we got it. You know how they do the movie, the scenes, and have music in the background.
Uh-huh.
We got the SMD project on that movie, and it's doing pretty good out there. We released it last year.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out, and we gotta give homage to you know, Kent, um, God, Rick Rock. Every time
Oh yeah, yeah. You Rick Rock,
Hitworks,
Hitwork.
Hitwork Studios.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Hitwork Studios,
there's two Rick Rock, but Rick Rock Tupac. Yes, because him and
Yes,
Tupac. Yeah, him and two. He's the first one. Him and DJ Assassin. They brought Tupac first to Sacramento. Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If he was still here, I most definitely would have my boy, up on, as an interview and everything. But
yes.
he was also, included me in things and stuff too. So,
Yeah,
but
you do know we got the. You probably saw it. I'm doing a with the crew. I got a little crew, and we're doing a radio podcast kind of concept too. And we're gonna be having you come on there. You know what I'm
oh,
saying? And interview you and stuff. But yeah, it's Mo Chill who's on. I don't know if you saw that posting up all
oh,
over the place.
what's
But
it
yeah,
called?
we
Oh, chill.
yeah Mo Chill Zone.
I love
Yeah,
that name.
my boy Maz and my boy Chili.
Oh,
Yes.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then our producer, not producer, our promoter of the show that helps get us out there promoting. His name's E. You
Huh.
probably saw the Siding in the 916.
Mhm.
He does a lot of
Oh,
the.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he does a lot of the history of the 916, and we're gonna come
Yes.
get you too. We're gonna come get you too
Okay.
on stuff. Yeah, he has you posted on you
He
everything you.
does, he really, really does. And I just appreciate that. And I was like, who is sliding one, not is that so who was he's another big one that always supports and stuff. Ramon, he's on here. Ramon Cardenas.
Yeah, that's him.
Okay, that's him. That's what I thought. The
Yeah,
sliding,
that's yeah,
sliding,
Sidon, like
sliding. I said
like
sliding.
Sidon. Yeah, yeah, Sidon. Yeah, so a lot of people say sliding. I don't know where they got the L from.
I don't know.
Yeah,
We're so used to it like me. Us old folks.
yeah, it's side like Sidon in the 916. Yeah.
Yeah, I get, you know what? I need to get him on here too because I like what he's doing. So I
Yeah,
gotta
he's doing big thing. He's the one that brought. I don't know if you heard about the pioneers and the legends. He's he 12 wax record store. You heard of that?
Roy Machado.
Okay, so he brought us there. I think I've been there 3 times already, or it could have been two. But yeah, he's bringing all the young Drady, just everybody from way back. He's bringing them all to 12 wax and signing autographs and stuff. And people are bringing the materials there. You know what I'm saying? And he signing autographs.
What is he doing? Like what doing that like off and on, or there's gonna be one event?
He does it off and on. Yeah, he did testers. He did quite a few testers already, and he's getting
Uh-huh.
ready. He's in the mix of getting ready to do another one. But yeah, we're gonna reach out to you and stuff. He had my boy MCRD. I don't know if you remember him,
Mhm.
but yeah, he was the Latin rapping
Yeah,
on the that 916 song Black Market brought out. That
yeah.
Latin rapper. Yeah, he's from that.
I would
Yeah,
love
he's
to, yeah.
yeah.
I would love to go support those events, and
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna reach out to you and have you come. Yeah, because yeah, we had a lot of people come, check it out, and so it's like he starts at I think it's like 4 hours, and people are going in and out of the store, just coming in and out of the store kind of thing all day, within that 4 hours. But they're coming there regards because they're coming to get vinyl. The store has vinyl in
yeah,
there.
yeah,
Yeah, so they're
yeah.
coming there to shop regards, but
Mhm.
then they get an extra special treat. We're there, and
Mhm.
when we're signing all the autographs and stuff. My boy Fo Loco, Fo Loco, he rapped
Mhm.
on "Season of the Sickness" song.
Oh,
or
really?
one of those. He was on that album. I would say he rapped with Brother Lynch and them
Yeah.
on that album. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of yeah, he's reaching out, grabbing a lot of the ones that put Sac out there. You know that made noise for Sacramento.
I do have to, I want to say thank you. I hope I'm saying his name right,
You
Ramon.
yeah, you did yeah.
But
Yeah. But
he
he goes by E.
E. Okay, E.
His hip
He
hop
did
name.
he did a birthday thing for me. It was off the hook. I
Yes,
was
yes,
like, wait a minute. I was like, whoa, he did
yeah.
a history of me, for
Yes, that's
my birthday.
yeah,
I was like, wow.
that's my boy right there. He really has my back. He brings me nothing every time we do business and talk on the phone or in person or anything. It's always positive vibes.
Mm,
Period. He
wow.
never gives me no type of negative attitude, no negative vibe, no none. I get none of that from him. That's the type of people I like to be around.
Hmm. Yeah. And we also got to shout out our favorite, well, not my favorite, because my son owns two barbershops, but
Oh,
we gotta shout out Sacramento's barbershop.
okay. Shout
Brown,
out to
you
Sacramento
know,
Barbers.
yeah, Rodney and
Yeah, yeah, the Brown brothers. Yeah,
yes,
the Brown brothers, TRM. Yeah, the
yes,
Royal
yes. You
Mixers in
gotta
the house.
give
Yeah.
a shout out too. And so, because that's the last time I saw you was at their grand opening.
Yes, the Royal Mixers and the rapping crew. But do you know they're the first ones to drop out of Sacramento? 1983 is when their song dropped.
Oh, for
And
real?
they're, yeah. And
Oh,
then we came out. We came out right after them with the two and the Tech Nine, not Tech Nine, the Triple Threat Three. So
uh-huh.
all three of us came out in this. They came out first, but we all came out in the same era.
Mm.
Yes, and
And
that in every interview I do, I always mention those two groups. DC Ray and all them guys. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
always giving love to them. Mike C, which is Big No Love now. Seaway Records.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
T Nutty Nut. He has T Nutty Nut and all those guys.
I just had T Nutty and Marvelous on, that, you know, and that's one thing that, I was one of the first ones to do and T Nutty would tell you I did his first interview.
Oh, okay, that's
We
tight.
was yeah, we was at we was at Dimple Records
Yeah,
and I had the big back then, I had the big camera and stuff. And I forgot,
I was,
I don't know, Big Rock came up to me or something and
yeah, yeah. Me and Big Rock, that's my boy too. Yeah, I was behind the pushing of T Nutty Nut.
so you
Yeah,
may have been there. And I remember I put the camera, I mean, I was interviewing, I put the camera down. I was like, if you don't act like you're on BET, and he kept doing what he was doing. So then when I saw him, everybody have heard the story. When I saw him, I was interviewing Houston by the Peach Cobbler.
hmm,
And he goes, man, I saw myself on TV. Can I please do another interview? And we sat
that's right.
down and got the
That's
best
right.
interview. And that's why, and on that interview that I did with him, Marvelous, he said, man, that was my first interview. I didn't know what to do,
Yes, I was
but
behind Marvelous. I was behind AWOL too, Freddie T, all those guys. Yeah,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
behind all those guys too, and my boy Pookie. Yeah, if you guys remember Pookie,
Hmm.
the
I remember
yes,
that name and stuff. We just had, good vibes back then. It was just good, good vibes. And they did quality stuff, you know what I mean? They
yes,
did like quality videos,
yes,
and
yeah. Get mixed up with the right people.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's how
Black
I get them.
Markets, the AWOLs, and it was just a different thing, back then. And I think it was more business like. And nowadays it's just like, just doing it anywhere, anyhow, anyway, and it's not, taking your
It's not structured. That's what you're
yeah,
trying to. Yeah, it's not. It's not.
yeah.
So
And that's
I try to work with people and get it to be structured.
yeah, like how learned and did it and professionally now, you know.
Yeah, that's what
Got
I'm
to-
about. So when they come with that unprofessional stuff around me, I gotta let them know, hey, I can't be around that.
Yeah,
You gotta check yourself on that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I love being
Hey,
around you and JDK and all that, because no matter what you do, like, look at, JDK with the magazine. he keeps, SAC report. He,
Yeah.
no matter what,
Yeah.
and it looks professional. You know what I
Yes.
mean? It's,
Yeah.
he gets his advertisement. You guys are businessmen, period.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You guys are very much businessmen, and that's what I just love. And I'm glad I still have you guys part of my life and
Yeah. We're
everything.
not into the BS.
Right. Not at all.
Not at all. Yeah. So when it comes, and that's because people will try to befriend you and stuff, try to say, "Oh, we family, we homies," all that, kind of trying to, get all up inside your mix and
They're
stuff.
trying to
And
steal
then,
the people that you connected with.
well, they do that too, but they try to get all up in your mix, and then start showing their true colors. You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh, whoa, you're not the same person I met. You know what I mean? So you got to be careful. You got to be careful around those type of people.
Steal ideas and all kinds of stuff. You know
They
what I
do
mean?
all kinds of stuff. Yeah, you're right on that. Oh, I can't forget my boy Saxon.
Saxon.
Remember Saxon?
Saxon.
He coming out of Rancho Cordova, Lincoln Village.
Yes,
Yeah,
man.
he's behind Black Market, he's behind AWOL, he's behind all the Bay Area, he's behind a lot of people. Plus, he has his own music. He does his own thing. Yeah, so
Wow.
he's big out here. Yes.
When did he first come out?
I want to say in the early 90s,
Yeah,
Saxon dropped. Yeah.
I was.
I know you
I
when you
probably
see his
interviewed
face,
him.
you
Yeah,
probably did. And when you see his face, you'll remember him. Yeah.
man. I would just love to have like you know, all of us from back in the days just all just get together. You know what I mean? And
I'll make it happen. I'll make it happen.
yeah, I thought about like, but it's more than Sacramento funk. There's I can't take, for I can't say I was the only one out here. There was so many other, you had the Loop magazine, you know what I mean?
That's my boy.
Yeah, said
Yeah.
it, and back then it was said and Stacy. I still say said and Stacy. But there was just we had magazines, we had, me the videos. Oh, I can't forget because there was another video show, Carlos, and stuff with Big Rail, and
Yeah,
stuff.
I remember them. I remember them.
Yeah, it's just like, kind of bringing, the
And
memories
the underground, remember the mob radio, the the 916 radio,
with
and then
you talk about what Mark that was on Franklin.
yes, and
Yeah.
then mob radio. I think that was, I want to say, Oak Park or South Side somewhere. I
Mm,
think, yeah, it was upstairs.
yeah.
That was Two in the Chamber in them. Remember Two in the Chamber?
God, I remember that name and stuff. I can't picture their face and
Okay,
stuff.
okay. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, there were pirate radio stations,
Yeah.
they turned on with what is it called? FCC? Or is it what it's called? And
Yeah.
yeah, once they pinpointed where that radio station was, they shut it down.
Yeah. Yeah. And once you get past a certain mile, you couldn't get it either. Me
Yeah,
and
you're right. Yeah, it only ranged a certain circulation. Yeah.
somebody reminded me about that today at work and stuff. You know what I mean? Just like, yeah, remember we were talking about like the old days and everything.
So
Um,
do you remember El Camino High School though? Because that's where Mixula came from, and Ebro.
oh,
El
oh,
Camino
they
High
did.
School, and they have a radio station program, KYDS. Yeah.
I don't know if I was there or here then.
Okay. You probably was because it hasn't stopped. They're still doing hip hop out of there. They
No, I'm
still
talking
got the
about when
radio station.
Mixalim started and
Oh,
stuff.
oh, no, you wasn't here. No,
Yeah.
Ebro came in the 90s of it before he got discovered by 102 and the Bomb and all those stations. But Mixula, he was doing that stuff in the 80s, and he
Mm,
was the first one to play my group, the Beat Boys.
yeah, I need
And
to.
he was my first interview too.
Oh, really? Yeah, I need to
Yes.
get Mixel up and see what he's doing, see if he want to, come on, because I think he's doing stuff in Texas, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, he'll come on.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah,
he will. We
you
go.
got you got major love. Everyone got love for you.
Yeah,
He'll come on. He'll
yeah,
come on.
I'm gonna have to, I'm most definitely gonna have to hit him up. There was something I was gonna mention right now. We just got so many members, I just can't, think. But oh well, how can people, reach you, follow you, give all your you know, what they call it, TikTok and all that, what they call those things, social
The
media,
what? Yeah,
but
social media. Yeah.
handles. Give all your
Yeah.
handles. That's what they call it.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, basically, all you got to do is just type in Sub-Zero SMD, yeah, at YouTube or at Google, and it pops up everything. Everything will come on. Even this will come on there. Yeah,
Mhm.
this interview right here will come on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Anything.
So that's my handles. Just go to
Okay.
Google, Sub-Zero SMD, boom, pulls everything up. Go to
Wow,
YouTube, Sub-Zero SMD, boom, everything comes up.
wow. Um,
Shout
thank
out to
you.
I want to shout out to Sibo and Brother Lynch. Sibo called me on the phone, gave me my props on SMD. Brother Lynch came into my store, gave me my props in person on SMD. That's when I knew I had something going. When those two came to my presence and gave me my props, that's when I knew that project was gonna go where it went.
Wow, wow. But a lot of people don't what I want to say about Brother Lynch. He is quiet, but he's hella cool. Every time I interview Lynch, it was very good interviews and stuff.
Yeah,
He was always down to earth and very you know, during the interviews and stuff, I always
yeah.
get, we always at first I was I'm gonna be honest, I was scared to interview Lynch at first. Because but then when I met her, I was like, okay, then he came on the show. Lynch came on the show a few times and stuff, and it was always love. It was always love. In
He's a
fact, all Sacramento pretty much, you know, um,
yeah.
always love, and
He's a mellow cat. Yeah, Brother
very
Lynch.
much.
He's laid back, mellow, and Funk Beta. They're laid back and mellow and stuff, and they're
Tall
not
can,
into.
tall can. Shout
Yeah,
out to
yeah,
Tall Can.
yeah. Tall Can. Yep, yep. Shout out to Tall Can,
Uh-huh.
and email too. We gotta give love to email.
Mhm.
Brother Lynch's cousin. Yeah,
Mhm.
you probably saw him before. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was more in the popping and stuff, but now he makes beats and he's a production guy now. But back then he was into the popping Furious Street Breakers and stuff. That's how me and him met. That
Now,
was way before I even knew who Lynch was.
now I didn't go this year, but last year I was at the what's it called, the battle raps, and that Simone and MC Katie throw, right?
Okay,
Um,
I saw the feed to that.
yeah. And I was talking to Mr. G. He was like, "Man, I saw you on your interview on Nico, and stuff." So that's when I first met Mr. G. And he told me where he was from, and I was like, "Oh, I interviewed a guy named Six from there." He said, "That's Six's son on stage right now." So I got to meet little Six,
Yeah, little sister. Yeah, he's tight. He's off the hook.
yeah. And I was like, I said, next time you talk to your daddy, tell him I said hi. And then he inboxed me. He's like, I told my dad remembers you. I was like, you better remember me. I put him on
That's right.
TV. But he
Yeah.
was like, he said that my dad said to tell you hi too. And it seemed like we are all just like reconnecting. We're
I'm
older.
trying to make it happen. I started my project to bring everyone together, and now social media concept is going on. I'm trying to bring everyone together now through the social media concept too. Bring us all. We got to come together because the Bay Areas, they come together. LA comes together. The Dirty South, all those guys in the Dirty South, Atlanta, all out there, Midwest, they all come together, man. So what's up with us? You know what I'm saying? We're the capital.
Have you thought about doing a like 2026 SMD?
Yo, yeah. That's what I took my project to Drummer Boy and all those guys. Yeah, so the project is now coming from out of the dirty South.
Oh, but
Yeah,
okay, but
and
not
yeah.
set. I mean, like to
No,
get
no,
it.
no, no. I got Sacramento artists on there.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm bringing Sacramento. I'm being selective now. Due to the attitude and the way a lot of people are not being professional with their business. So I'm picking those who are like on top of their game. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just gonna bring anyone anymore because back then I brought just anybody and I got a lot of problems. You know what I'm saying? A lot of problems came my way because I'm bringing artists, putting my money and my time and some of them I even taught how to rap. You know what I'm saying? So I would teach them how to write their lyrics and because some of them were just freestyling off the brain and stuff. I taught them how to write the rap. I taught them how to make love to the music beat and everything. I taught them all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And now, a lot of them are out there doing big things right now.
Right.
But yeah, so I'm still doing that, but I'm not going to be doing how I did that. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm getting established artists from SAC, and you gotta be dope because I'm messing with Paul Wall, Wiz Khalifa. I got all those guys coming on my projects now. You know what I'm saying? The Dirty South recognized me and gave me my props. So I got all those guys.
Okay.
Young Cheesy, man, I can't remember everyone's name right now, but a lot of cats from like, it's gonna shock everybody once I drop the projects.
Well, I'm excited. I can't wait. That's gonna be our next interview once all that's dropped in.
Yeah, it's coming. There's a lot of legal stuff involved.
Uh-huh.
When you're messing with the big names, because they're kind of on record labels and stuff. You know what I mean? They're on major labels, and some the ones that have their own label, they're not tripping. But if you're getting an artist that's already established with a major label or a major independent, then there's a lot of legal paperwork involved. You can't just record them and just throw that stuff out there. And plus, social media, when you're trying to upload, yeah, they want to know all the business on how you know this artist, and are you for sure it's legal copyrights, because people are getting sued on there. That's why a lot of people, when they're playing music in the background while they're talking, they go, "Oh, this is not my music." You know, I don't know. You saw that before, where they said, "I'm not the legal owner of the music in the background," kind of
Yeah,
thing.
and
Yeah,
even on
you got to talk.
TV shows, TV
Yeah,
shows
you
that
got to.
they
Yeah,
playing,
you
they
got
was
to
like, "Oh
talk.
no, don't play that because I don't want to pay nobody." Like Sherry
Yeah,
Shepherd, I
yeah,
heard
yeah.
her
You
say
got to
that.
be careful. You got to be careful nowadays on that stuff, because
Yeah,
I'm going through it. I got projects I'm trying to upload, and they're like, "Show us your driver's license." You know what I'm saying? And they're asking all this personal stuff because they don't want me to upload that stuff and put that stuff out there, and then lawsuits start kicking in. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I remember. I don't know. I can't remember what song it was, but I remember I was talking to Baby Bash, and he
Yes.
told me,
Shout out to him.
yeah, he had to tell someone to remove his part of the song because what was Clyde Davis's record label called that Whitney Houston everybody was on?
Um,
Like J Records? Is it J Records or something like that?
I don't remember
But
off the brain.
yeah, but it was, you know what I'm talking. I think it was J Records, whatever Clyde Davis had owned, and and
Yeah, so
Baby
you're
Bash.
talking about his label branched off of Sony.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but remember he signed Baby Bash, and Baby Bash told me he's like, Alita, I had to, they told me I couldn't do that song day. I had to tell the people to remove it because he didn't get permission from the label, and I think that's why a lot of people don't like signing to labels. They like, doing, we see more now, especially with the internet and stuff, more
Mhm.
independent and everything. But I was shocked, like when I interviewed T Nutty, he was never signed to a label.
Yeah, well, he was on Black Armor Records. His first album's coming out. Big Rock was over him.
Oh yeah,
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 so yeah, and then he maybe not signed a contract or whatever,
mhm,
but
yeah,
yeah, the project itself, he was on Black Armor Records because the logo's on there, bam, with his stuff. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
With him, yeah. So
yeah,
that's kind of signed, but not. He didn't probably like sign that paperwork
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, but a lot
Yeah,
of people say independent and stuff, and I look at 40 and all them, first they started sick with it, but then he later went to Jive, and now
yeah,
he's
yeah,
back, in the
yeah. Yes,
independent and stuff.
yeah,
So
because you got more control over that.
yeah, you don't have to worry about getting permissions and
Yeah,
stuff like that. You could kind of collaborate most of the
yeah.
time with other people and stuff. And real quick before we end it, last question: is there any artists? I know you're working with the South right now. Any like R&B or any artist, anything that's you have not worked with that you would love to work with?
I want to work with Jay King,
Oh, Jake. Oh well.
Club Nouveau. Yeah, I want to do something with them. Even
Did
though,
you reach
even
out to
though,
him?
well, I had him on an interview. He came and did an interview. He gave me 2 hours.
Oh yeah, Jake could talk.
Yeah, yeah, but I want to eventually get a project going with him and Lil Durk, even though he's in trouble and stuff, but Lil Durk and then Cypress Hill. I kicked it with Cypress Hill when they came out here a couple times, but
Okay.
I want to do projects with them. I want to get them on some of my stuff. Yeah, because
Okay.
my record label, Sub Zero Entertainment,
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to bring artists who are tired of being stuck on the labels they're on. Not the artists that are like independent already doing their stuff. I'm talking about ones that are stuck on contracts. I'm trying to get them to work with me to so they can express themselves the way they really want to express themselves. Because when you're with a record label, you can't. They tell you how you're gonna be. You started off you started off in the game a certain way, but then they control you. You know what I'm saying? They took you in, and then now they say we're gonna shape you. This is how we want you to be. You know what I mean? And you signed, so you're stuck. so
You
so
know,
I'm trying to get the yeah. So I'm trying to work. That's what these projects I'm about to bring out is artists who got kind of stuck. So I'm trying to get the legal stuff done on it, and they're expressing themselves the way they really want to express themselves on my label because I let people be who they be.
and rest in peace to Homicide, because I remember he
Yeah,
was trying to get people their royalties and stuff. I remember sitting down, he invited me to his office and stuff, and he was telling me that he was working on, he has something going, trying to get, people the royalties and stuff, and
yeah.
everything.
It's
So
more than just royalties, though. There's, yeah, there's more. So the labels they only tell you you probably know about two of the copyrights. There's like tons more copyrights that you got to do to protect one song.
mm,
Yeah,
that's like it's just coming to the top of my head for you to do like you could do a training class to get paid, for people trying to teach people that stuff. But sometimes it's just hard for get people to come to things, and it's just
yeah.
they want
Well,
everything for free. They want everything for free.
yeah, you're right on that. But I kind of when I'm working with the artists, I kind of give them bits and pieces of the game. You know what I'm saying of things. It depends on who they are and how they're coming at me and stuff. So I kind of work with them like that. I used to in at one time I was just giving the whole watermelon to them and say eat, but that's when I was getting used and abused kind of concept, and that ain't happening no more.
Right.
So you're right. So you're right about kind of like doing teaching lessons type of thing and what I'm saying put a fee on it, each step they go kind of thing. I believe in that, but at the time back then I was just doing it for the love, the love of hip hop, love of rap, love their art and all that stuff, and for some reason they would just want to start taking advantage of that, you know what I mean, and not try to you know uh wash, they say wash each other's hands or however they say that saying, help each other kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That a lot of people are getting into the business or been in the business selfish. You know what I mean? They're all about them. You know what
Very
I'm saying?
selfish.
Whatever they can take from you to add to their cake. You know what I'm saying? And not try to help you, with your cake. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what's going on out there. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think it's cool at all because I reach out to people. I'm like, hey, you got this going on. Remember when I did this for you? And they say, oh, don't take it personal kind of thing. I'm like, well, how am I supposed to take it? You know what I mean? I did all this for you, and now you got this going on. Like when I had my nightclubs and or just getting people on the radio. You know what I'm saying? But my nightclub, I VIP'd everyone that I was knowing and stuff. Then they had their little stuff, and they were trying to charge me at the door. I'm like, what? You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
That's
How are you putting a fee on someone who gave birth to you? You know what I'm saying? That don't even make no sense. Don't make no sense at all.
yeah. I seen it happen. I seen it
It's
happen.
not cool. But it's all good.
Yeah.
Some of my people said don't worry about it. Just keep doing your thing kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I just
We
it's
still
just
here. We still
yeah,
here.
that business is just crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still here. 1980 all the way to 2025. Your boy is right here looking at you all young and stuff. I'm going to be 56 this year.
I just turned 58.
There you go. You don't look like it. You
Mm-mm.
don't look like
Nope.
it.
Don't look
Yeah.
like what I've
So I'm
been
about
through
to
either.
yes, that's right. Yeah, I've been through some stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
so 1980 always still, kicking those pavements. you know what I'm saying, going through all kinds of tennis shoes and, you know, tearing up the pavement, you know what I'm saying? And I'm still doing my thing. When everyone went straight social media, Brother Lynch Hung is the reason why I even know about social media. He hit me up and he's like, "Sub, you need to get on social media. All the celebrities are on there." And I didn't even know what that stuff was. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm out in the streets and I'm still out there with me and my team. We're still grinding the streets, you know, face to face. People love that. Face to face, hitting them up, you know, doing a promotion. But a lot of people are talking crazy on their music now. You can't really go out there like that now because the new generation, they heard your album talking all this crazy stuff, and now you're going out there in the streets, and yeah, you're getting approached. You know what I'm saying? Because all the stuff you're saying. And that's why
Jay
you hear
King,
about
yeah.
all these deaths, people getting killed. You know what I'm saying?
Jay King
That's
is the
crazy.
one that told me to get on. Jay King told me, he goes, "Leader, you need to accept every man." That when
That's
Facebook first came. I bet you he don't tell me that now, but he told me, "No, you need to accept everybody. All the requests you need." Jay told me that.
yeah, yeah. It was I think Brother Lynch hit me when he got at me. He was telling me about MySpace and then Facebook. Yeah, it was MySpace and Facebook. Those are the two that he was telling me about.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, family, appreciate you guys. Follow him, Sub-Zero, SUB dash
That's D.
D,
D. Like dangerous.
dangerous.
Yeah,
Oh,
like S, M, and D. Like
oh,
Sacramento. Yeah, it stands for Sacramento's most dangerous.
oh,
And it's not just
SMD,
yes,
SMD. Okay, I was
yes.
saying Sub-Zero. Okay,
Yeah,
SMD.
Sub-Zero, yeah, Sub-Zero SMD.
Okay,
But Sub-Zero is my name, period. Way
yes,
before Sega, way before Mortal Kombat, there was me. Because
yes.
I'm from the 80s. That stuff didn't even come into play till the 90s. I'm sorry to
Okay.
tell you guys, I'm the real Sub-Zero. I'm sorry.
And follow our boy no, siding.
Side,
Siding
siding.
in the
Yeah, siding,
916.
siding in the 916 and history of the 916.
This is, yeah, history of the 916. And you know what? That's what I like. You get history. You're not
No,
getting
he's not
um
playing. He's not. Yeah, he's not playing.
yeah, you're
He's
not
not.
getting no BS and no
No,
stupid stories
no.
about 916 and stuff. You're getting the history of the music industry of 916. All right. Appreciate
Yes, you.
you, brother. We're
Appreciate you.
gonna have you on again and everything. Anytime you want to come on, you just give me a call and
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm gonna come on when I finally get that project everyone's been waiting for a minute on. You know, with the Dirty South in the Midwest. Yeah, I'm about to blow doors down.
Maybe you could bring some of them with you,
Yeah,
on there.
yeah, I could do that. Cause yeah, I'm about to take Sacramento to a whole nother level when I drop that album.
All right. And you know what? Let me know if you need anything. All right.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
All right. Good night, everyone. And I will see you guys next week. All right.
Yes. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Anytime. All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right. Bye bye.